us today. So you can come and take the platform as she introduces herself and what she's going to present about. So you can come.
Good evening, everyone. Is it audible? Oh, okay. So my name is Coach Nomagugu LB Luna, and my introduction is part of the 10 minutes. Oh, okay. I'm an aircraft maintenance engineer by profession. I'm also a drone pilot. So I'm part of ICMF. I think I joined in April. I did my PCC. So today is the only day that I got the chance to do my presentation. And I'm going to be touching on a topic that I feel like we don't really get to talk about, or we don't really get to be taught about, but we actually practice this every day. And the topic is negotiation. Yeah. Who has ever negotiated? But we do it almost every day, and I see some hands down. So negotiation is a communication process between two or more parties with different interests, goals, or perspectives, aiming to reach a mutually beneficial agreement or to resolve a conflict. So now it actually touches either our personal lives, our professional lives, business, and I mean even nations at large. We sometimes have conflicts and then we end up getting into the treaties mode. So it's all based on negotiation. So if we actually think of it in our day-to-day life with the people that we interact with, not even thinking of career or business, sometimes you are faced with a decision to make, maybe with your friends. You want to go out and eat, and then one wants to eat chicken, one wants to eat beef, or one has got a certain restaurant that they prefer and the other has got a certain restaurant. But at the end of the day, you have to choose one. So that discussion that we're actually going to do is what we call negotiation. Let's talk about our careers. We get employed and then we accept offers, right? But maybe at a certain point in your career path, you feel like, when I joined, I was earning this much, but I feel like I now deserve an increment, whether it's your salary or your benefits. So let me negotiate my what? My salary or my benefits. That's negotiation. Maybe you're married and you want to go for vacation somewhere, but then your husband or your wife has got other thoughts. So just that discussion on where we are going, that decision you are going to make, the process that you take to get to that point is what we call negotiation. But now, because we are barely taught how to negotiate in life, we find ourselves negotiating without even realizing that we are actually negotiating. So sometimes we walk out of the deal happy because you've gotten what you want, or sometimes you walk out of the deal sad because you didn't get what you wanted or what you expected. Why? Because we barely plan when we actually get to negotiate. But now with Google, I don't think there's actually a degree in negotiation. But if you actually go on Google, just researching, you actually find that there are strategies that we should apply when we negotiate. It doesn't matter if you're negotiating at a personal level, business level, professional, or even on behalf of the country. So you just need to prepare for the negotiation so that when you get in there, you're not shocked, like when you're caught by surprise, but I actually didn't expect that the other party was going to come at me this way. So it applies at every stage of our lives. And by these strategies, by these steps to negotiation, you find out that at the end of the day in life, you're going to have an upper hand because people barely practice or people barely get prepared for what? For negotiation. So I'm just going to touch on a few of the key strategies on how to prepare for a negotiation. So the first step is preparation. Research the other party's needs, goals, and limitations. So negotiation, we are saying it's actually two or more parties, but you have what you want. So before you go in the room and actually talk about what you want, you need to research about the possible outcome of what the other party wants from the negotiation. So that will help you to understand, as an individual, you know what you want, but now you also know what the other party wants. And then set clear objectives. So by setting clear objectives, what you're going to do is define your non-negotiations and know your walk-away point. It's not always the case when you actually get to agree. At some point, you just need to say, no, this is not my standard, this is not my level. So if you're not going to actually agree to what I want, then I'm not going to settle for the deal. And then we move on to listening actively, understand the other party's perspective and interests. So when you walk in, like most people actually like pre-program what they're going to say, because they know what they want, which sometimes then moves them away from focusing on actually listening to what the other party wants. So this then affects how you're going to negotiate, because you're already not even listening. Or rather, let's just say you are hearing to respond, but not actually hearing to listen and to understand what they want. So even your fighting back won't be really logical. That's when you realize that sometimes at the end of the day, people now use emotions instead of logic when they are negotiating. Right? And then, if possible, make a strong first offer. So start with a confident, realistic opening position. First impression matters. This applies to, I think, almost every aspect of our lives. If you actually crouch and look like you don't know what you wanted, like you're just pitiful and stuff like that, that's how people are actually going to handle you. So even if you want to save your last point for the last, they've already judged you from the initial impression that you actually gave them. So just go in and then use your first bomb, like the strongest one. You actually win easy by that, because they'll be like, oh, this is what we are dealing with. And they actually like fix themselves, their attitude, and even the way that they are going to handle you, because they know you know what you want and you are strong on it. And then look for mutually beneficial solutions. Let's not be selfish. Yes, we want what we want. The other person want what they want. If actually it's possible, let's try to find a common ground that will benefit each and everyone. So seek creative solutions that satisfy both parties' interests. Not kuti ndirichiyera zvandoda ndozvinoitwa. And then use objective criteria. Rely on data, experts, or industry standards to support your arguments. Like be big on logic so that you don't end up using the emotional tool. Because usually, I actually see this as a common challenge for cards more than men. Like in workplaces, especially in positions of leadership. If you're too strong, right? Too confident. I'm saying too, because that's how they view us. They actually say, now she wants to be a man. And then if you're soft, they'll be like, she's being a woman. And then you end up not realizing, what am I supposed to actually do? Right? But then if you actually just use logic, you find your way out. Because the moment you use emotions, they'll then take advantage of the fact that women are emotional. This is why she's now doing this. So research properly before you actually walk into a negotiation room. Have your facts in place, your logic, your data, so that at the end of the day, no one will even think of emotions, because you already have your facts in position. And then be transparent and honest. Build trust by being open and truthful in your communication. Many a times people actually walk in the negotiation room like with what they want, and then they are strong, they are confident and big on that. But because of the twist that then happens in the negotiation room, they end up actually just agreeing to whatever is now being said, because maybe they are now out of points, or they feel like, oh, I wasn't prepared, so I'm just going to take whatever that I'm going to take. So you can actually overcome this by being prepared. And then when you walk in, you actually know that I have my limits. Like I said, don't just take anything. In as much as you're not supposed to be selfish, but if you feel like this is beyond my standard or my level, don't just accept because that's what's there. If it's not for you, you can just tell them, no, according to what I want and according to the facts that I've presented, if you're not going to agree on anything within this range, then I'm not going to take the offer. And then use persuasion, not pressure. Influence the other party through logical arguments and empathy. It's still coming on like back again, but in different terms. So this is more on be big on facts and logic, and then less on emotions. Then finally, confirm agreements and ensure a smooth implementation. This is closing the deal. From, like, as I was actually researching because I'm trying to negotiate for, like, at work for my salary increment. So this is how I came about the topic and stuff. But from my research, I've actually realized that a number of case studies, we have people working to negotiate, and then they walk out not knowing, so what exactly did we agree on? They know exactly the conversation that was going on, but if you ask them, so what exactly did you agree on? What are you benefiting? What is the other benefiting? They don't know why. The twist that happens in the conversation, you walk in with what you think you know, and then you're schooled, and then you feel like, I actually didn't know this. And then you lose your focus from there. you're no longer paying attention. Or that thing of emotions, now you're emotional, so you're no longer paying attention to what happened. And then you walk out, someone asks you, so what did you agree on? And then you actually don't remember. So before you leave that room, you actually need to know, fine, we started from this note, we discussed this, we had our differences and our arguments, but what exactly did we agree on? So this is now like the conclusion. And each and every part, it's not only about you. You should make sure that the other party actually knows what you really want, and you also know what they really want, so that at the end of the day, when you walk out, you're actually on the same page. Even if you didn't take the deal, they should know that you didn't take the deal. So yeah. And then additionally, consider the following advanced negotiation tactics. So there's what they call anchoring. Use an extreme initial offer to set the tone for the negotiation. That's what we talked about, first impression. Use your major points first, which then set the tone for the negotiation. Then there's bracketing. Make a range of offers to create room for compromise. Like I was saying, you don't really need to be selfish. Sometimes you might think you know, but then you get schooled in the negotiation. So be open, actively listening, so that if you get schooled and you feel like I need to drop this notion, you drop it and then you add on new ideas and then you see how best you can counter. But unfortunately, we don't really get the time to go back home, plan, and then come back. It actually happens in the room. Like many times, you're just given that opportunity and you have to think fast and take advantage of that very space that you've been given. And then bundle and unbundle. Package multiple items together or separate them to create flexibility. This is also an issue of time, especially when it comes to business. You want to negotiate, your boss will tell you, I'm only giving you 5 minutes. And then probably you are like a whole composition. So now you need to see how best to structure it, so that when you talk to him, it doesn't feel like you're wasting his time. And then use open-ended questions. Encourage the other party to share information and reveal their interests. I'm sure if we are all enrolled with ICMF, we have learned about open-ended questions. They actually probe the other person to actually share information. It's not like you are pressuring them to talk, or you're not talking all the time, but you're poking them to actually reveal probably what you wouldn't expect them to reveal. So this is another negotiation tactic that you can use. And then in conclusion, negotiation is a crucial skill in all aspects of life, like I said, including personal and professional relationships, business, and even conflict resolution. So in as much as we might feel like we are not taught about it, we get to do it every day, I'll just find myself doing it. But for you to have an upper hand in a negotiation deal, you actually need to plan, you need to prepare. Just knowing what I want a salary increment is not enough. Why do you want it? How do you think you deserve it? So those are the questions you should be able to prepare to answer. And even in personal life, just having an option to actually choose for the whole group, you actually need to validate why you feel good. Everyone else should follow what you're suggesting. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's give you a round of applause again. It's actually funny, before I came here, I had to negotiate. But nditokwira kombi ndanomudza kuti handikwire zvedhola ndinokwira zve50 cents handiti ndikatokwira ne50 cents. That's how I negotiated kuti ndite sei ndiuye kuno. So without wasting much of our time, so that we have more time to contribute, we are going to call upon our main presenter, Coach Linda Maradzirwa. So she is going to present on the importance of family values, and also she's a business and life coach. So without, being a businesswoman, right? She's also a businesswoman. So you can't be a business coach without being a business woman. So Coach Linda, you can come forward. Let's give you a round of applause. So.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. How are you? Okay. Before I start, I just want to find out if you have got people who are coming from a family where they are the kids being taken care of by their parents. If we have those people in the house, whereby you are a kid or a child being taken care of by your parents. Do we have? Okay, so we have more adults in the house, right? All right, and so do we have parents in the house who are taking care of, if you have got a kid, a child at home. We have maybe one. Yes, we have got few, that's good. So I've got a great audience today. All right, so today I just want to talk about family values, the values that are being set in our families, because we are getting challenges whereby people are taking rules and laws and setting them in the family instead of setting rules or of setting family values. And these rules now, they come not to take shape to the family that we have, but they are coming to suppress maybe our children's ideas, their emotions. They are suppressing or terminating their careers. A lot of things is now happening. You see the society that we are living in, the community, you know, a lot of things that is happening right now, whereby when we grew up, the way the society was and the way that it is now is different. We are seeing a lot of things that is happening that we as parents, sometimes we are now terrified of where the generation is going to be. And also the current generation is also terrified of what is going to be because of what is happening. Because they are looking at us as parents, they are supposed to get hope from us, but now they are seeing us that we are also afraid. There is, let me give you one example of things that are happening. For example, there's this gay thing, whereby when we grew up, it was a taboo for me to bring a girlfriend home as a girl and bring a girlfriend home. Even if you want to do that, you know it's not allowed. But these days they're saying it's now okay. It is no longer an immoral thing. You see, so now the parents, it's now scaring us as parents. What's next? What is going to happen to our children if this thing is being approved of now? And also the children are now looking at us. They look at us for their future. They are hoping to derive strength from us. But looking at us as well, they are also terrified and they are confused. They don't know where to get courage from. So all these things are happening because of probably lack of family values in the house, or probably the rules that are being set in the family. People are mistaking the family values to rules because we were raised in a family setup where rules were being set straightforward, and you are being told that this and this is not allowed in this house. You are not allowed to do this, even if you want and you see other people doing it, because your family, they have made their mind that this one you cannot do in this house. So they tell you straight away that if you want to do this or if you want to behave like this, it's either you are part of this family or you're out. It's an ultimatum that is being given to you. We are not given an opportunity to even say our mind. We were not given that opportunity. So to a point whereby the way that we were raised, we were deprived, I can say, of some of the things that we now desire to give to our children, because we were not able to even say something that you feel like saying. We were not allowed to say our opinions. Quite on. And you could not even come to your mom or dad and tell them about intimacy issues. Yeah, even bringing a girlfriend home was a taboo, even if you're a boy or a girl. But nowadays, people are even doing sleepovers. They are allowing their kids to bring their boyfriends at home or girlfriends and do sleepovers. To them, it's fine. But back then, it was not allowed. And we were not even told the reason why. They were just telling us that is the only safe way for you to become a better person tomorrow. So as we grew, we thought maybe there are some things that were set by our families that made us become better people today. That the things that we are facing today we didn't have such things back then. And because we don't even know what to do to our families, to our kids, with what is going on today, we then go back to the way we were raised, and we then collect the rules that were set upon us, and we bring them as they are straight to our kids. You understand? We are not even, what can I say? At school consider. The days that we grew up and the days that they are growing up is different. Things that we faced and the things that they are facing is different. So now we were supposed to now collect, even if you want to collect whatever we call, maybe there were values, family values or rules. We were supposed to collect them. We bring them here and we lay them down, and we begin to see if all of them still suits with the current modern times that our children are living. Because we are not able to do that, maybe we are not taught, or we are scared of laying our own. We are now then enforcing the one that we were enforced on. We are also enforcing them on our children. And with the current environment that they are living, it's like, I don't know if I can bring some scriptures. I'm not going to read, but I'm just going to, like the situation of David and Goliath. Everyone knows about that scripture, right? Whereby I can call the Israelites a family set up, whereby they have got their own way of fighting the battle, fighting the Goliath of what is happening today. We have got so many Goliaths that our children are facing that we haven't faced back then. So we are going there armed. You know how they were armed? The armor, the iron, whatever, the heads, everything they had, they were so sure that when we go there armed like this, we are going to succeed. But when they went there armed like that, they were also terrified. Yet they thought we are well armed. They spent days and years trying to figure out how to come out of that situation. As parents, we are also still trying to figure out how we can bring the kids out of the Goliath, because we also failed to come out of the Goliaths of our lives. So now we are bringing the same concept that they did, that made them spend 40 days sitting, confused, not knowing what to do with the modern situation that is happening today. Until one who was brave, it was a child. So before I go there, I just want to ask maybe one or two that who can help me on, let's say, like the first question that I have asked, that do we have parents in the house? And do we have also children who are being taken care of? Because as a child, the place that you call home is their home. You call it your home. You call it my family, right? If you go out there, you say, this is our home. You say, this is our family. Yet, you are a child there. And coming also to the parents, they call this their home, and they call you our family. You see? So either you are being taken care of, or you are the one taking care of this child. This is both your home, right? So I want to ask now, like the modern way, or I don't know, the way we grew up, that maybe if you are going to be a parent, or if you are a parent right now, how are you, and sorry, who is responsible on setting up the family values in the house? Because this is all your home, and this is all your family, all of you. So who do you think is responsible on putting on family values in the family? If you've got maybe one or two who wants to just, yes, say.
It is the father with the help of the mother.
It's the father and the help of the mother. Why so?
The father is the head of the family.
Okay.
Unless he's not there.
Okay. So he's the one to set up rules or values, family values. Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
I think it's
It's a cooperation with everything. Because based on what you're saying, there's a bridge between the old generation.
Yes.
So for us to have a progressive culture and values as a children, we actually just need to contribute. Of course, the parents can, but they also need to understand things.
To consider.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? You negotiate. Time of coming home, you negotiate. If they say 6 o'clock, you must be here, you negotiate. What a good time you have. Anyone else? Yes.
Thank you so much. But I think it depends.
Okay.
It depends with the beliefs and the level of the philosophies that are there.
Okay.
But I think from Christian type of setup, we would say the father is the head. And if the father is the head, what happens is he sets the rules. When he has a vision, he's the one who has the vision. Then the woman is there to help. And as he is helping, the fact that the man is the one with the vision and the helper comes in, therefore they are there together to set those.
Okay.
So I think
It's the parents.
Yeah.
And where do us, let's say I'm your child, where do I come in? As you have put your rules, right? Because we must know their rules and their values. Because rules are, you must not talk to that boy next door. And that boy next door is your classmate. And you are told not to, I do not want you. That's what our parents used to do. I do not want to see you come from school. 5 o'clock you should be here. They don't ask why you are late. They don't care. All they want is for you to be home at 5. That's it. Those are rules. So they used to rule us with an iron fist. Our parents, what they say is what is done. No negotiation. So sometimes, of course, I might be a child like David. I'm going back to David. Not all children are like, I don't know what's the exact word that I can use, that they cannot think. We have got children who are also mature. Because sometimes we are bringing the way that our parents brought us. And we look on the mirror, we admire the person that I finally became. And I gave credit to the rules that they gave. If it was not for those rules, maybe you see? So I usually think it's because of those rules that made me the way I am today. So because I don't know what to do with my kids, I just transfer this to my kids. And when it goes to my kids, maybe it won't suit the way that we were back then and the way they are today. You see where the challenge is. So now this is exactly what happened on David. I'm just giving an example. That when he went there, he initiated on going to war on their behalf. And they looked down upon him. They said, you are a child, you are a youth. What do you know about fighting? Have you been to war? Have you ever trained? Do you know how to hold a gun? And you come here, what are you saying to us now? You see, this is exactly what we are doing to our kids. That we know everything, and they are the ones to sit down and let us talk. We don't want to hear the other side of their story. What they know, what the life out there is like now. Let's talk about phones. And if the child comes and asks for a phone, she will be told, we grew up without phones, and you're demanding a phone here. Huh? You see? But the child these days, homework is being transferred through the phones. If your child doesn't have a phone, it's a challenge. You see? And you expect better results, yet when others are doing homework, the child doesn't have. And now she's going back to school after everyone has done their homework. She's now going into other people's homeworks and ask, Imagine zvavari kumuudza kuti how come you don't have a phone? Everyone has. And everyone has. And when she comes back home and say everyone has, she say, are you everyone? Well, you see? So it's now you have to be in their shoes sometimes with the modern life that they are living and the way that we lived. We are not saying we mustn't put rules, but I'm saying let us set some family boundaries. Let us set some family values together with them. And we negotiate. There are some that I set, and I don't want negotiation on that. It depends on what it is. And there are some that I need to understand if it is okay or not. Right? So, going back to David, they thought that he's young and he has no idea. He cannot do what they think they could. But you look, they spent almost 40 days doing nothing. They ran out of ideas. They were afraid. They had no courage, no strength. No one initiated on going after Goliath. But look at the one who is coming. Because they were not there where he was spending most of their day. There at school, it's not every time that they are doing bad things there. Okay, let me say this, that because of our fear of what is happening right now, we think every street is now bad to our kids. We think every friend is not good to our kids. So we are depriving our friends of having friends, of our kids having friends, because we think they are. You see, even if the kid wants to join drama majors, I think yeah, the way they dress there is not appropriate. I don't want that thing here. But you see, in those some of these programs where these kids spend the time, most of their time with, they are learning more than what we have learned. They are getting connections there. Some of the things that we never had the chance to, they are also learning. They are becoming the Davids that are facing challenges there by the wilderness where you are not there. They are also being trained by nature. They are being trained by things that is happening there when you are not there. For example, boarding school. If anyone that has been to boarding school, if your child doesn't know how to wash his or your own underwears, if he doesn't know how to dress the bed, doesn't know how to do all those things, when he goes to the boarding school, you'll be surprised when he comes back, he's a David. He knows to do things that he didn't know. I've got a friend of mine who told me that I learned to do hair when I was at school because there were no hairdressers, so we had to do it ourselves. So now she is now a hairdresser, not because she went to a certain school, but she learned at school. When you send your child there, you never thought she would bring a hairdressing technique. You thought she's going to bring A's in geography and other stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, wherever they are going to spend their time, they are also learning. But they are being guided by the rules, by the family values that you put, that you set in the house. So that when they go out there, they are not being influenced by promiscuous kids or things that are happening that you are scared of. We should also give them room to go out there, and we also have to have confidence with them. We have to also sit with them and set some family values, telling them what you expect them to do when they go out there where you are not. So that when they go there, you know they are safe because you have put family values, not rules. Because rules are easy to break. Look at the law. How many people are breaking the law every day? Every day, even in the street driving, even the person with license, they break the law. Every day they are doing that. I don't know what it is with us. We like breaking laws. It's in human's nature. So if you put laws and rules, don't be comfortable to think your rules are being kept. Sometimes they take and they leave it right there, and they walk away leaving your rules at home. So now you are thinking, now the rules that I have set, that I have given them, wherever they are safe, yet they are not. They have left your rules at home because some of them are very tight and strict. And the way we put on these children, we don't even negotiate, we don't consider their feelings. We end up terminating even their future. Because some of the kids, the parents, they come and lay like, you are going to do medicine. Ndikuda Dr. Pan. I heard there was a child who was grade 7 who killed herself because the mother said, I want 4 units here. If you don't bring 4, you are dead. That's what the mother said. And the child got 6 and she was afraid to go and tell the mom. She couldn't face the mother. And she saw it fit to take her own life than he had taken her life. Because she was always promising, I will kill you. You see, so we are not setting family values. We are frightening our kids. We are terrorizing our spouses. It's not only in our children, but also in our relationships. For instance, let's say we have got a family that was raised. Let's say she was raised, not that you are, I'm just giving an example, whereby the mother or child or the father was ruling with an iron fist there. She was so strict and everything. And you know, back then, not all parents were strict. There were also parents who were so, they would allow their kids to go wherever they want, bring whatever, whoever they want. You see, they were allowed to go. that we are now taught that you are able to live with it, you can live a normal life, you can have a good family with it. But truly speaking, no one is accepting it. Just like if you now know that you have it, it's scary, right? But we are being taught that you can live with it. It's something that you can take medication, you can be taught. So now, because our children are not being taught, they are when they are unaware, they are now afraid of pregnancy more than HIV. But you know that? Because they know, if you ask them now, they know how to prevent. They know you take this in the morning and they discuss. If you are to steal their phones, you will find it there. They know everything, but they are not being taught about not HIV only, but sexually transmitted diseases. They don't care because we don't talk about it in the family. They have family value issues. We don't. So these are some of the things that when a child brings home a child, that's when we want to start talking about it. And you see these kids sometimes they are scared when they finally find out that the girlfriend is pregnant and they know the rules, not there. And you're scared. How am I going to present this to my mom, to my dad? How is he going to take it? And instead of maybe telling a relative or someone, they are going to kill themselves. So you see, this is how we have high rates of suicides. Young people are killing themselves and they are wondering what is happening. What is it that made a child want to kill themselves? It's a 14-year-old. Because there are things that are going on in there that you don't know. And we are not even aware. And because of the results that are happening, we are now scared. Because we never saw it happening when we grew up. We never. That someone is STI, it was rare, but these days is common. You see, so because we don't know what to do or what to say, we are terrified, we are afraid, and now we are losing it as parents, and our children are also losing it because we don't have the confidence of teaching them and laying family values. So I want to conclude by saying, instead of borrowing rules from the past, let us bring our own family values. Because if we don't, our kids are going to go out there and borrow values of the streets, values of other people's homes. Because we don't have anything here. I saw it next door, they saw it at school, or my boss, one of them they've got time to speak to, to do all those things in they borrow and they bring it home. And when they bring it home, we're not there. We are working 24/7 and we are not even aware of what is happening. He brings it home, he gave it to the sister, the brother, and all of them are doing the same thing. And you only discover when one finally get caught. And we are not aware. Because we are not aware, we are not even having knowledge of what is happening. So this is what is happening not only to kids or even adults. What is happening? It's because of these things that are happening. Sometimes it's the values that are coming together and they bring disaster. So it's a challenge now that we have to sit and kukumura. You see that what David did, they gave him their values, that big jacket, that big hat, and he says, this is too much for me. I know I can fight, but what you are putting on me is too much. Bring kumurai so that I can wear my own that you do not see, that you do not understand. You have to wear like these days. That is why we encourage people to pray, people to go to church. You see, where you are being given another jacket, the invisible one, where people they don't normally see, but it is better than those of souls, right? So that's exactly what David did. He went there with, because of time, I'm just going to give you a list of things, characteristics of things that happens or that your kids or your family finally have when you have set values. So I'm going to quickly give the values. First, moral values, whereby you teach your child of kindness, generosity, integrity, courage, patience, honesty, justice. They have to know that. Personal conduct and social behavior. Teaching your kids to respect elderly people, to respect women. These days, kids, they don't respect women. You see, let me not talk about that. Let's talk about elders, because I was saying another thing here. They don't respect elders. You know, when we grew up, we were told that if you are in a bus or somewhere, you see an elderly person standing and you sit, you stand and they sit. But nowadays, you see them like this in the bus, and this young one is on the phone sitting like this. He doesn't even care because he says I've paid for this and I was the one to come first. You see, even if you want to talk sense, you are talking your values to him. Those values at home, they are not being taught. So it won't make sense to them. So you have to teach them personal conduct. You sit with your kids, you sit with your family, you discuss with your wife. If in your husband, you don't put rules, because if you do to your man, in your husband, even the wife, why are you to tell me that? But you sit and discuss. Look, you have brought your own values, that is why you are always arguing. It's not because I'm perfect or you are wrong, but it's because of these things that we have brought. Let us kumura the batches. Dishoka, ataka now the soul batches, akaba kunana soul. Gatima kumure and create our own. Titani patra and start. It starts with you, the husband and wife. That your values will now mend your kids' value. So we'll continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How many are going to change the ways we contact our families? This is amazing. Yes, what's wrong, guys? What's wrong? Have you not been impacted? Okay. So, Coach was talking about a very powerful topic. One does not foreign. We all come from somewhere. We all come from families. So, it's not something new. It's something we all relate to. So, don't mistake auntie. Don't mistake rules of families. Rules are something that says we don't do things. They restrain us, but then values they shape us, they shape who we are, the person we become in future. And I was also taking some notes and also give a platform to your children to share their minds, to share what they think is good for them also, but also you as a parent should have the upper hand. Don't just let them looking at their way, but also build your family together, hear their views, also put your views in place, and then you negotiate just like other speakers say. The benefits of letting your kids interact with others, they get to have connections, they get to have opportunities. You know these days that children don't know anyone, they in great places, everything. Then if I hear something, a friend one deny, they want to interact with, of course, I have a better understanding of that person. I'm going to say Coach Faith, I know Coach Faith because I often interact with them. But then if I don't interact with Coach Faith, there's no way that I'm going to refer them to something. So set your kids out, let them go out there, let them interact with people. I was also noting down something here. The lack of family values has a profound effect on futures. If you come from a family that has got a negative family values or rules rather, you're going to find out that the family that they're going to start is going to be negatively affected. They're going to impose the rules that were imposed on them by their families, and it's going to affect the way they grow up, their families, the way they raise their kids. So, who has questions, contributions? Because of the time, I will only take about 3 or 4. No questions, no contributions. Yes, sir.
Okay, I wanted to comment on this one. I wanted to say that you see, we are now living in what we call post-modernism era, whereby things have changed and a lot of people are becoming artificial and it's uncontrollable, and whereby we have lost our etiquettes. So the thing now is the children that were there before and now, the difference is just too much. And to deal with that is a bit difficult. Because there is no way you can want to try to understand someone who is doing something wrong, so that you tell them nicely that you don't do this. You get? So the kind of people we are having today, the generation alpha, you can qualify them some way, some way. So they keep changing. You can't really tell they're like this. So we really need to be careful, maybe to parents who are here. The values that are to be set in the home and the rules are there to be set. And if you don't set rules, coach, don't be surprised with these people, they do anything. So there is a real need for some rules and the values. Sometimes you can discuss, but sometimes you cannot. Because it's father and child, it's mother and child. There's need for that gap to be known well. Otherwise, if you don't do that and say, I know these kids, it's now new generation, you leave them like that, we're going to bring disaster. And the moment you die is the moment your home is going to be destroyed. You understand? So you need to leave that kind of legacy where train your children with the rules. If there are no rules anyway, there's a verse that I like in the Bible. If you read, it's Judges 20, chapter 21, it must be the last verse of that chapter. It says, in those days there was no king. You understand? So everyone else was just doing their own things in their own way. So imagine if we remove Mutemu like me, let's just say 1 hour. What are you going to do? Someone is going to come in here and say, guys, that don't know. And you're not going to do it because there's no rule. So when it comes to kids, we need to put rules and we also need to be nice to them. But being nice to them, we're not supposed to spoil them. You understand? Because we are having a lot of spoiled kids today, they don't have respect. And sometimes parents love their kids too much. They think it's love, but it's spoiling, So we need to know which is Sawana, let's say a tipo. But if you love them too much so that they relax, it's going to be disaster. That's why I'm trying problems. Even if you don't want any problem, they were spoiled with their mother. And now if you why? Because they were spoiled, but you are too much. So we need to set rules. When it comes to the home, like Coach was saying before, there's no negotiation in that. Because it is your home. You and your husband, you had that home before kids.
No, it's because of time. Because I wanted to say they are family values that you should set. So that when we do that, they know that this one is to be done. Yes. That we are not supposed to come home at this time. We are not supposed to do this at this time. Because if you enforce it on them, that's when they break. So we are not saying no rules, but we are saying family values must be set. That includes the rules in it. Yes.
That is really good. So there is an advantage and disadvantage of rules. Some people will become very good people, like me. In Darwin would be too serious. You tell me, this is my home. If you don't want, you move out. You understand? But then you have to become straight. But now, sometimes it might not work. Some people will become rebellious. They'll be very wild. And so you really need to understand your children and know how best do I deal with it. So people are really concerned. Yes. So we really need to know I'm dealing with that kind of a person and how best can I assist them in a nice way so that they become very good.
So you're saying we first need to understand the way our children behave, how they think, how they put themselves where they want to be,
You only know when you sit down with them, when you are laying the rules, you can say family values where you are not discussing, and you get to know them when you are discussing. Because if you lay rules, you will never know them. They will keep quiet and they'll scared of you. But if you discuss, you now know that she has a girlfriend, she has a boyfriend. You see, now you're not telling them the dangers of having a boyfriend at an earlier age. So those are the values.
So should you have she's thinking next yes.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was actually profound. One thing that I realized from the presentation is we were really talking about leadership, the leadership styles that we're supposed to portray in our families. For example, I remember Coach, you mentioned the fact that we have to have rules, and that's very much okay. But I think what Coach was saying, the fact that if we say we are having rules, the way we are going to put them as rules becomes a way of rebelling them to come to us. If you get what I'm saying. So usually nowadays, if I'll take you back, you'd realize that then we used to say everything is obvious because of tradition. But now everything that used to be a rule then because of tradition is now a negotiation. I'll give you an example. Even with the drivers out there, you'd realize there's a red robot, but he or she wants to negotiate through the red robot. That's what is happening usually that's what is happening usually with the teenagers and youth that we have nowadays. So I think you, as a leader, most of the times, the reason why we end up having those quite pushy rules is the fact that most of the time in parenting, English doesn't go far. The fact that they don't have a vision. Psychology tells us that 93% of people don't have vision. And those who are running the cheater through those rules. That's why you realize even the children don't have the values. Now they're just looking at the rules that are used by the parents to close their mistakes. You see, but if a parent or the parents have a vision, what they don't need even to push the children, but when they show their standards from the vision and their values from the vision they have, children will be like, wow, I know my parents, even when they get to school, they have that thing to want to talk about their parents. You say, oh, you know what, my parents do this because they're never ashamed about their parents. They are simply happy about their parents. Okay, thank you so much.
As parents, we should be leaders, first we should be facing so that our children will also know. Yes, okay.
Okay, just to end on that, this whole days now is different from when these guys used to grow up, right? We are living here involved and living here we are being taught my values, but trust me, I'm not such a critical man. Pamwe pacho mubereki anenge achiita, but what you have to do pamwe pacho ndezvekutoona matira kuti you know what, handisi kuda kuti mwana wangu adai, because you find out kuti I work with children, right, social welfare. Munhu anenge achiti ndinotoitira zvese mwana, ndinotogara navo, tinodai baba unobvunza papa kuti what is your relationship like, zvekudii zvakaita seanenge achitoexpressa tinombodai. But you find out kuti mwana uyaya ari kuexperimenta zvakaita zvakawanda behind, mwana ari kutoita zvemadhaza, usi kuzviona usi kudii. So you find out kuti it's something that we can't experience control, kuti inini ndinotofanira kudai so 24/7 saka nemwana. Another example, you find out kuti kumayunivhesiti ukagadzira unotoona kuti half or more than like kudarika half of it handisika vanhu vaive vanenge vachienda kana kuti zvekumabhawa varikuwarepepresha kana kuti the thing like few percent ndoyo vachine tumavalues zvezvekutoti arege nditese ndizame kuita keep it kudidi. Saka honestly we can't really define kuti zvinhu izvi zviri kumbobveri. You find out kuti kana utori neparent anokuti usaite chakati, it might sound as if kuti generation yadi, but honestly that technique, even my mom uses that, and but at the same time
it works, right?
It works. Vanotondudzwa kuti iwewe kana ukangomisa this chance hauchatoite auchatodene another chance anditika ndinoita that thing with determination. Yes, I know kuti to some people zvinogona zvine negative impact, but trust me, my mom is my best friend. Ndinovaudza zvese kubva kukomana ndikuenda unedheti pane anhu ngavati akunditsoma chichichichichi tinototaura handiti vanondipa that but munhu wewo atiriwe kuti ndinotomuchi handiti. So sometimes I think we really need to play about this. It's not all about this. Zvakura zvekutonamata.
She has saying we should mix prayer with our values.
She has said those things. That is why you are so comfortable. She has said.
We're a strict terror.
Okay, so we have someone who's watching us live. So
Okay.
his name is Stanford Piri.
Okay.
So he says, I understand that both are good, but one is more important than the other, and one precedes the other. What's the difference then between rules and values?
Over to you, Coach Linda.
Okay. So if I can say rules, let's say words that are being said, it's a law that is being said either by the country, the family, it's a law that you must follow. And values, they are also, we can say they are laws, but I can say they are things that we can discuss. They are akasununguka laws, if I can say, they are not that firm. And akuoma zvokuti zvinotonzi ukakrosa red robot mbusa hakuna kunegova kutosungomutenda. It's not like that. But my rules next cross a robot, you are now pregnant. Exactly. So what's next? The rules, they say if you get pregnant they'll kill you. You see? But the rule, the values are saying, I'm telling the child not to get pregnant by explaining what she must do or he must do, how he must live, how he must conduct himself, all those things. I'm explaining, I'm talking to the child so that he's aware and he knows how to carry himself. Rules, I'm just saying, do not bring a child here, don't get pregnant, full stop.
Well, we say rules are there to be complied.
Yes.
And the values will bring motivation.
Yes, that's the same again.
Thank you so much. I think she actually mentioned another profound point when she actually said she told values between, which is a very good point that I thought is one of the mistakes that parents do to us nowadays. Values are not taught. You don't say values. I can say, coach, I'm trustworthy. I don't know. But what I do is what makes her say I am trustworthy.
Yes.
So by the end of the day, when we want to tell them values to them, there's an instance whereby when I say I want to share her values, but when I am sharing values to her, values are turned into rules or laws. Even though, but when we are getting there as in action rather than speaking, I think it's one of the most profound ways of impacting a family setup.